Hey guys, Chelsea here. I decided to take this outside today because it is finally fall. Whenever you're watching this, whenever I upload this, today is actually the first day of fall and it is still hot and humid here in Texas. But I just wanted to get outside and film this video. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Chelsea. Did I already say that? I don't know. I get ADHD brain. I'm just like, shoo, squirrel. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are not new here, welcome back. I am in my first year of homeschooling. Technically second year of homeschooling. So we did a light preschool year last year, and then this year we're kind of doing like TK, transitional kindergarten, the first half of the year, and then second half of the year we're probably gonna go more kindergarten. So that gives you an idea. So we're kind of between transitional kindergarten and kindergarten this year. So I have a 4-year-old, she's turning 5 this week. And then I also have a 1.5-year-old son. He is not ready for school. He is just along for the ride. So that's not what this video is about though. This video is gonna be about the combination of Build Your Library as well as Torchlight that I am doing. So I went on the Torchlight website and I only printed off the samples. I have a Build Your Library, I printed everything off in a binder. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have all the pages from Build Your Library printed off to use in here. I don't even use the binder. I use it from my phone. So if you're questioning if you should use all these sheets of paper to print off a Build Your Library sheet, save yourself the ink and just do this online or on your phone. That's what I do, as well as a Torchlight. I just have it on my phone and I scroll through it. So I have both of these here so I can compare the programs for you guys, as well as talk about the schedule that I'm following with my kids for both of these combination programs, if that is of interest to you. So if you're interested in Build Your Library and Torchlight and doing a combination of the two, stick around. Sure, Chelsea coming in here. I just finished recording the video you're about to watch and I am super scatterbrained. So sorry in advance. I promise I get to the point. I promise I get there and I talk about almost all aspects of the program. Just stick around. We get there. And I hope you enjoy the video. So we are going to start off with Build Your Library. So Build Your Library, and I may do like a split screen, so I may like move myself to the side and then do a split screen right here so you guys can see it versus me trying to hold this up because I don't have one of those fancy tripods that like look over the table and you can see straight down. I don't have that. Maybe one day, but as of right now, I don't. So I may just do a split screen or just kind of a screen insert somewhere around here. Future editing Chelsea will figure that out of what I decide to do. So Build Your Library. What we're doing from Build Your Library, I have a lot of the spines here that I'll show later on as well. So I have a whole stack of books below my hand that I'll show you guys from, I think they're from both curriculums, because both curriculums they show their book list online. So that's not like really secret information. You can get that from their websites. I have a scatterbrain, so if I jump around a lot, I'm sorry, that's just who I am. Build Your Library. When we first started off the year, I wanted to use predominantly Build Your Library and then just pull in supplements from Torchlight. It's almost completely flipped now where I am mainly following Torchlight and we're just pulling a few things in from Build Your Library. It honestly changes week to week based on what we're liking, what we're not liking, what aspects we want to bring in from each program, what have you. We are in our 6th week of homeschooling, I think. We're actually doing our first fall break this week right now for my daughter's birthday week. So no school this week. Build Your Library. Build Your Library also has their table of contents online. I don't believe Torchlight has a table of contents online, so you can't see their full breakdown schedule or whatever it would have you. I will say the Torchlight schedule, I'm not going to like go into detail about what their table of contents entails, but Torchlight does jump around the globe a lot more. So you may, and I'm just going to make this up, you may go from Africa, not even Africa, you may go from like Kenya to South America somewhere. There's no rhyme or reason to the Torchlight structure and order that the countries you're going to. Whereas Build Your Library has a lot more structure and order to their countries that you're in when you're studying them. So with Build Your Library, I love how they go by continents. So as you will see, I'll put the little insert here. On their table of contents, you start week 1 off with Intro to Geography, and then you'll go into North America. After North America, you move into South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Oceania, Antarctica, and the Arctic Circle. I still have moved some of these around myself based on our breaks. So for example, we're doing our first fall break right now this week, and I think it was 6 weeks. So we did the first week of intro to geography, and then the first 5 weeks of North America, and then our next break isn't gonna be until Thanksgiving, I think, week we're taking off. And so based on how many weeks we took off, I took South America, and then Antarctica and the Arctic Circle, I think, in Build Your Library was like 3 weeks. And so I moved those up just so we would finish all of South America and Antarctica in one through motion versus kind of like stopping in the middle of a continent and then having to come back to it after a break. So I kind of moved some around a little bit, even though I do like their order of continents a lot better. If you follow Homeschool Together podcast, I love them. I will link them down below. I got this idea from them of they took their Build Your Library schedule and then combined it with a Torchlight schedule. I did modify it a lot to meet my standards. So what they had is they had it more like Build Your Library Torchlight, Build Your Library Torchlight, Build Your Library Torchlight. So instead of combining Build Your Library and Torchlight weeks into one and just kind of pulling what they like from each, they would do a full week from Build Your Library, a full week from Torchlight. That was just going to be way too long. I think it ended up being like 60 plus weeks for us if I did it that way. That was too much for me. So what I did is I just took the Build Your Library and the Torchlight and combined the weeks together. So if you were interested in that schedule, just send me an email down below, and you'll have to send me your proof of purchase for Build Your Library, or even message me, Build Your Library and Torchlight, and then I'll just somehow get that to you guys. So actually, I started Discord. So if you were interested in my homeschool Discord, I'll link that down below too if you want to join that Discord community where all are welcome. So it's not like, I'll link the Discord below if you want to join it. And if you like it, stay, hang around. We have some great conversations. Back to, I told you, scatterbrain squirrel. Back to Build Your Library. So as we started Build Your Library, I like it. I like the organization of it, but I like the content of Torchlight a lot better. So what I will show is, let's go through week 1 of Build Your Library, for example, and I'll have on the screen again. So for week 1 of Build Your Library, they have it listed in days. So you have day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what have you. I felt as though it was a lot of geography every day of the week. And so I also changed that around to where we're doing geography on Monday. And so we'll do like a little intro to geography. So all the stuff that's listed for geography that entire week, we just do it on Monday as like, hey, this is where we're traveling. And all week long, we're going to learn more things about this amazing country that we're going to. So there's the Me on the Map book, which I have in my stack of library books. I don't have Me on the Map because that was a book that you only need for 1 week. Any books that are required for me, like for only 1 week, I didn't, anything that's not a spine, I didn't purchase it. I either found it on Libby. So if your library has Libby, for sure utilize Libby through your library, or I would rent it from my library, or I would watch a YouTube read aloud if it's just a book that we're only using for 1 week. So Me on the Map was a book that we only read for 1 week. It had us reading it 3 days of the week. I know repetitive reading is great for young children. I've read the research, but unless my daughter asks to read a book again and again, I don't read it over and over to her again, because then she gets bored and she's like, I don't want to read this. There are books that she does enjoy and she's like, Mom, read this to me again. I'm like, okay, let's read it 10 times. So there is Me on the Map. There was a World Atlas for Kids Facts and Activity book. I'm liking that one, but I only introduce it, I think, when it is a new continent. So let's see if I can find World Atlas for Kids Fact and Activity book. I have the sticker. I don't even know if I got the right one, but this is the one that I have. And so this book, she's really enjoying it, but I'm just gonna go to the table of contents. So it has like a fast facts around the world page, and then she put all the stickers. My daughter's very into stickers right now, so this has been a hit. Now the thing is it only shows continents, not per country. So you don't bring this in all the time. So like North America has a page, and then the people and places in North America have a page. And then like South America has a page, and then you put stickers. We're not in South America yet. So we've only used this book one time when we were doing the introduction to North America, and we haven't used it again, but she did really enjoy that spine. So if you have the ability to get it, highly suggest getting the World sticker book. After that, there is the spine of Children Just Like Me. This is another one that my daughter is really liking. So what it is it's a celebration of children around the world. And so you will go and you will see different kids around the globe, and they write their name, and you'll see their pets and what they like, their favorite food is, and how they say hello, which has been fun. It's been a really big hit. We haven't done it all the time. Sometimes I just forget, but she really has enjoyed this book as well for spine. And then for literature, for the first week, it was How to Make an Apple and See the World. I think we read the book one time. We didn't do any of the activities. Like, I think we were supposed to bake an apple pie. We are currently renovating we just moved here back in April, and it is a full flip renovation house. So our kitchen is completely under construction. So I don't even have a working kitchen right now. So baking an apple pie without an oven was not gonna happen, but it was a cute book. So after that, the science is a Wild Animal Atlas. Let's see. I do have that book as well right here. This is a big one, doesn't fit up and down in my bookshelf. So this is the Wild Animal Atlas by Nat Geo. My daughter loves this book. The lighting's starting to get off. Sorry if the lighting gets off, the sun's setting, and so it's starting to like create weird shadows and effects. So the Kids Atlas. I really liked how it talked about ecosystems in the beginning. I don't feel like showing the books is a spoiler alert. So it talked about ecosystems, which we started a whole conversation about that, of how different animals live in different places. And then it had a map of North America to hide my face and all the animals. This has been a really good book for her to just like kind of sit and just start discussions on, not really following exactly what it says to do, just open discussions more so of just like open the book and see where it takes us. As far as poetry goes, I do have that one, Book of Animal Poetry. So I took the hardcover off, but this is the Book of Animal Poetry. I took the hardcover off because it always just gets ripped and torn in our household. We haven't been using this. We are not big poetry people in this household. Some people are, and if you are, that's awesome for you. I think it's because mostly the poems don't really match up with the animals of where they're at. So like if we're in North America, it should have been a poem about an animal in North America. Or if we're in Mexico, which we studied, it should have matched up with like the monarch butterfly, for example, was a really big thing when we did the Mexico unit. And I don't think that was the poetry. Maybe it is, but it's just not consistent enough for us to have that tie-in. We usually do everything science on Wednesdays from both programs. So science this year for us is the animal science from Build Your Library and Torchlight. And so we'll pull in the Wild Animal Atlas and the Animal Book of Poetry from the Build Your Library program. And this just hasn't been doing it for us. So Animal Book of Poetry, if you're into poetry, even though it doesn't match where you're at in the world, this would be for you. And I think that is it for the example of what's provided on the website for Build Your Library. As you get through the weeks, there is a lot more books. The literature books so far have been a hit for my daughter. So the first chapter book we read, I don't think it's a spoiler because it's on her book list, was The Very, Very Far North. My daughter cried when it was time to return it to the library, and I was not allowed to return it to the library until we ordered and bought our own copies. So she'd never been read aloud a chapter book. She'd only been read aloud picture books. So this was a new adventure for us. And now she only wants me to read her chapter books, maybe picture books occasionally, but she's mostly wanting me to read her chapter books now. So, and there's also, if you go through the Build Your Library, there's day by day options. So there's the breakdowns of the, like week 1, day 1, your geography activity of what you'll do that relates to the geography, your literature and literature activities, and then your science. I really like the breakdown and how it's just simple and day by day format. I really like the format of Build Your Library. It was like, here's the day 1, here's the day 2. So that is, I think, everything about Build Your Library that I wanted to talk about. And then Torchlight. I'm already at 15 minutes. Oh my gosh, I ramble. Torchlight. So I printed off here all the Torchlight stuff that is on the website so I can make sure I don't ramble on about stuff that's not provided on the website. So Torchlight, I bought this primarily because I love the building character idea of it. So the building character program, oh my gosh, my books have slid everywhere. So the build your character aspect of Torchlight uses Molly and Keela. I think I read one story from here and it didn't hit. Like, my daughter was off in La La Land. She couldn't sit still. Mind you, I have read a chapter book for her now, and so she can have the ability of the lighting when this reflects is actually really nice. Mind you, I read the very, very far north, so I know she can sit. I know she has the focus to sit and listen to longer stories. This is a Virtue's Book of Children. Also, this book, when I'm going out of order with the Torchlight curriculum, it references different stories that don't align. So just when you're doing the combination of Torchlight and Build Your Library, just be aware that your stories, introductions, and all that stuff won't align as well. You don't want to go to chapter like 6 in this book and not have the stories that come before it. So if you're doing this book, I suggest going your own order and just still maybe utilizing this book. For my daughter, who is currently 4, turning 5 this week, this is just, I think, too advanced for her to really grasp. All right. That was the reason I bought Torchlight. What really drew me to it, as well as the supplements. So I will show the supplement page on the screen. So this first week in Torchlight is actually European Russia. We have even gotten to this in our program because we are doing the Build Your Library order. So we've done North America only so far. But a lot of the stuff still is relatable. So European Russia. When I bought Torchlight, it was mainly with the idea that it was going to be a supplement. So I wanted it for the enrichment activities. So when you see the sample of Torchlight, you see so many books. So just additional picture books to read. They'll give options for older learners to read around the world stories, which is additional purchase. If you want to also purchase the around the world stories, they have where you can bring that in. The videos and movies we've been bringing in a little bit. And then apps, I don't think we've brought in any apps that are suggested on here. Music, we have brought in music, and we'll just kind of play it randomly in the car or over the day and be like, oh, this is music from this place that we're studying. Like we studied the Caribbean last week, and so I played some Bob Marley for her, which was a really good tie-in. So Torchlight does it a lot differently in their structure, where they'll have, I'll show an example here. Well, they kind of show a week breakdown with still the days 1 through 5, and then along the side, they'll have your subjects. Literature and poetry. Something that I don't like about Torchlight is their literature books don't match where you're at in the world. So like you're in European Russia, but you're reading about Mercy Watson, which is a pig. There was a book in the Torchlight, the literature series that we did, and she did not like it. Maybe it was Missy Pigglewiggle. Missy Pigglewiggle was one of our books, and she was not a fan of Missy Pigglewiggle. She was just like, she's too silly. So I don't think she's even gonna like Mercy Watson either. We may give it a try. I do really enjoy the literature suggestions from Build Your Library a lot more, and how they correlate with where you're at in the world. So that is for Torchlight. Art and music. I do like the art and music from Torchlight and just kind of playing it, not necessarily. So if you go to the breakdown of the checklist, and so Torchlight does it a little bit different, where it's not day 1 checklist, day 2, 3, each page. They just have like all of it on 1 or 2 pages. So when you go to the checklist for art and music, it says, listen to this song, watch this dance, watch this ballet, and then watch this. We do a lot of those activities. We live in a digital age. My daughter relates more towards watching stuff and hearing stuff and seeing stuff, not always just books. She wants to see it live and in action. So the art and music tie-ins from Torchlight have been a really big hit for us. After that, the geography, social studies, and culture from Torchlight, I don't have many of the spines, just because I predominantly planned on, when I purchased it, using Build Your Library as my main curriculum. So like it calls for Smithsonian Children's Atlas. We have used this. So the Smithsonian Children's Atlas, I have this one, and I can't remember if this is the one. We have used this a few times. It has really pretty pictures, and it shows tie-ins really well around just conversation again. So like This is the Canada week, which we did, Canada and Alaska. We did already study this. So it shows like the bears, and it shows like a key on the side of all that's in the nation. And then it talks about like important places that are in this country. So this is a really good suggestion from Torchlight that we have used a lot. Year full of stories. We haven't used a year full of stories. Do I have that one? Didn't buy the year full of stories, but I do have a year full of animal stories. I think this was, I can't remember if any of the curriculum, I don't remember if this was in the Build Your Library curriculum or Torchlight curriculum. My daughter's super into animals, so I do have this as a spine that I purchased. And then, let's see, I don't have the 101 Awesome Women Who Changed Our World Atlas of Animal Adventure. This is part of the Geography, Social Studies, and Culture for Torchlight. This has been a hit. So what it has on each page is it'll have a thing of animals, and then the animals are always doing something silly somewhere on each page. So she has so much fun just staring at the animals and finding all the silly things. Like I think there was like, what page was it? Like the polar bears, he has on this page, he has binoculars. And so she would just spend time looking for the silly things on each page. We haven't even done that page yet, but she will get a kick out of the polar bear with binoculars on that page. So that one, if you have a younger learner, again, just something to open up and have deep, meaningful discussions of like, oh, they eat this, and oh, their sight, or just kind of touching basis on all these random things that you could. Other thing is the cooking class. Again, I don't have a working kitchen, so we're not doing any of these. I wanted to take my daughter out to eat at a bunch of places, or order food. My dog's chewing on my daughter's shoe. I wanted to go out to eat or order food from the countries that we're studying. I haven't done any of that. My daughter is a super picky eater, so I don't think she would enjoy this aspect of either program at all. So we haven't done this, even though I have this. I don't remember which program brings this in, but I know this is one of my spine books. It's Spotted World Atlas. This has been another one that's fun, but this is again another one. I think this is Build Your Library maybe, because Build Your Library does a lot of continent studies before studying the countries. So this is like North America. It only has a page for each continent versus each country. So North America, and it'll have like a little key, can you spot, down here, and you have to look at the pictures to spot this. So this is another one that's been really fun anytime we introduce a new continent with my daughter. As far as some of the printables go with Build Your Library, I don't think we've done a single printable activity from Build Your Library. We have done, oh, it's really hard to see. Let's see if I get like, I don't know what I can use so it doesn't bleed through. There we go. So on Torchlight, it has like the country and then a box down here below. I don't have my daughter's samples with me, but what we've done up here is we've written the name of the country that we're studying, and then we'll color it in, and then we'll draw their flag. This is part of the Torchlight Trek, again, that's in the sample, so you can kind of see the example of that. They also in Torchlight have the featured article. My daughter can't write yet, so it would just, I mean, it might be nice for me to just kind of keep track of everything, but we haven't done this either. So like they have a bunch of stuff where you print and cut out, is it a food that you want to write about? Is it a place? Is it an animal? And you put like a photo in here and then you write about it. Narration kind of exercise. I haven't done any of those. I don't think it would make as much of an impact with my daughter. Also has an animal spotlight page, so it'll show you the continent. Oh, my neighbor's Great Danes here. Hey, go, Tucker, go home, Tucker. My poor little dog, she's so scared. The Great Dane looks like a horse. It's so big. Let me move my camera a little bit. Oh, there we go. There's a shoe. Let me move the kid's shoe. Crazy dogs. All right. I don't know where I was at. I think I was showing the animal spotlight page. So there is the animal spotlight page. Why am I showing this? I can just insert it here. So there's the animal spotlight page in Torchlight. I think we discussed the things that are on this page, but we haven't actually like colored one, written one, or any of that stuff. Again, it's one of those things that gauge your learner and where they're at and what you think is going to be the most beneficial. We have done a lot of extra supplemental books. So what I do, this is a video that is really long, sorry. Hopefully it gets a little bit shorter when I'm editing later. Gauge your learner, what you think is going to work best for them, what programs you think is going to be best. I've really enjoyed following the Build Your Library order of things, and I've really enjoyed pulling in all the supplement activities from Torchlight. I didn't buy, I think Torchlight and Build Your Library have supplemental art activities like glitter bombs. I haven't done any of that just because I find myself when we're doing art, it's more so me doing a lot of the art and her just watching. We did for Mexico. Oh my gosh, the neighbor's dog's back. Tucker! I'm gonna get so confused on what I'm talking about and where I'm talking about. So many distractions. Let's see. As far as my own supplements, what I suggest you guys is when you're in a country studying it, what I've been doing is I'll go onto my Libby app on my phone and I'll just search like books that relate to that country or what's available and just borrow now. So instead of having to feel like I have to put all the books on hold at my library, I'll just borrow whatever is available at that moment. What I do for Torchlight, because it does have a ton of supplemental books, I'll put them on hold at my library 2 weeks before. So not the week, Sunday night of the week I'm going into, I'll do it 2 weeks in advance. And that seemed to really help. And most of the books I get in time, and if I don't get it in time, we just don't make it. And then I'll just cancel the hold and then we move on. So that is what we've been doing with the books. We've read a lot of good books. I don't have any of the library ones because I just return them after we're done. As far as some of the crafts that we've been doing, I've kind of, again, I think I already talked, the dog coming over really distracted me. My order conversations. If you have any questions, I think that's it. I've talked about the structure of each program. I've talked about the spines in each program. I've talked about how I supplement with books. I've talked about activities. I think I've kind of touched bases on art and music. We haven't gotten to the point that we've implemented much art and music just yet with our homeschool. We'll do some coloring pages. I think I've done a few coloring pages of like when I'm reading a story or a few map work coloring pages type thing, but it just hasn't really clicked just yet. And she's not really big into coloring. She's starting to get there, but not too much. So I think that is it in terms of how I'm doing the Build Your Library and Torchlight combination. Again, if you'd like to see that sheet, the spreadsheet that I have, just leave a comment below and I will reach out to you. I just will want to see that you have bought Torchlight and Build Your Library, so that way I can make sure I'm not sharing a table of contents that isn't publicly available for view. So if you'd like to see my combination, the way I do it, just leave a comment below. And if you have any questions about the programs or what else we're doing, if you're wondering what all programs we're using for my daughter's kindergarten year, I think I've seen people where they like leave a link up here. I don't know how to do that, but I'll figure it out. And if it's not up there, I'll leave it down below. And I hope all of you guys are having a great school year. And if you want to join the Discord again, it is down below. Until next time.